Hogwarts Legacy is ridden with hidden mechanics and just generally really cool tricks that you can do to enhance your experience even more. In this video I will go over a bunch of juicy obscure tips and tricks that I have found so far, with the threshold for inclusion in this video being either that the game doesn't explicitly tell you about the mentioned trick or that they are really subtle features and thus easily missable. Don't worry, there are no spoilers in this video and these tricks are definitely things you want to know of as early as possible, so let's start off right away with number 1 on my list being cheating the Merlin trials. You know how within the Merlin trials there are these the floor is lava type of puzzles. Basically you need to jump from one platform to another platform, and if you fall you fail the trial. And yes, these can be very frustrating at times. Well, that is a thing of the past from now on onwards, thankfully, because take up your broom and instead of jumping over these platforms one by one, just fly over them and pretty much just cheat your way out of it. Easy peasy. Funny enough is that the plants actually stay on the pillars even if you move away from the puzzle before completing it, which is kinda weird, as usually when you're not on the pillars the puzzle would reset and the plants would disappear. But yeah, that makes it obviously even easier to complete these puzzles, and I'm not even sure if it's really cheating, as it definitely counts for completing the trial, and thanks to your 69,000 IQ strategies, Merlin will in fact be extra proud of you as well. For number 2 we have using Arresto Momentum to slow down those Daedalian keys that fly all around Hogwarts to unlock the house cabinets. You get introduced really early on to this side quest, so you probably know what I'm talking about. Using Arresto Momentum before triggering the minigame will in fact slow down the key so much that the entire mechanic of this minigame gets completely trivialized. Usually you have to stress out and time it correctly when the key flies over the keyhole, but with this method none of that. It will be the easiest entrance to a hole in your entire life. Especially when you see that the key is already lingering above the hole before you trigger the minigame. In those cases you cast Arresto Momentum and then immediately slap it in, because the key is slowed down so much it physically cannot move away from the hole as usual, giving you a way to instantly complete these minigames. Which brings me to number 3, the art of poaching animals like a pro. When you're poaching animals, instead of following them around all day long and making yourself look like a complete fool, why not just become Sub-Zero and get it quickly over with? Take the Kneasel. I like the Kneasel, you like the Kneasel. It is basically the closest thing to having your own personal cat, and who doesn't want to have a cat? But these cats are a bit hard to catch. They're quick and they have a bunch of those things where you need to press the button to actually catch it, and ain't nobody got time for that. So hit the animal you're trying to catch with a Glacius and easy peasy. The animal has no chance of escaping. It falls over, becomes completely frozen, and you get a quick catch. Levioso can work here as well, by the way, as Deke tells you in one of the tutorials, or even Arresto Momentum, but Glacius just makes a statue out of them on the spot with not a single inch of movement, and it's also just the coolest option. But most importantly of all, completely freezing your newfound companion before you kidnap it sets up for a beautiful long-lasting relationship. Which also, by the way, brings me to my next point. Now, Hogwarts Legacy has 23 spells, right? Well, yes, but also no, because guess what? Accio is basically a 2-in-1 spell. When you cast it, you first cast Accio, pulling the target towards you, but then subsequently you will also automatically cast Wingardium Leviosa to keep the target in the air, and with that you can do everything you want to do as if you would have cast Wingardium Leviosa, so moving it left, right, up, down, whatever you want to do. This means that you totally do not need to slot in Wingardium Leviosa in any of your spell sets, as you already have it as a part of Accio, which is very convenient, because guess what, you now get one extra slot for free for any other spell in the game, if you did in fact use the actual Wingardium Leviosa spell before. On the topic of Accio, Accio is a really cool spell. Outside of its uses in combat, you can grab things that are completely out of your reach that maybe initially you wouldn't even think of grabbing them with Accio. For example, those sacks of loot. Say you can't reach them normally because they're on top of something, for example, or you're just feeling lazy, don't wanna walk, no problem. Use Accio and claim your loot in style, and there you have it, the loot is yours now.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Now, when you're falling from a cliff or any place really, you would expect that you would be stuck to some kind of fall animation, right? Like in many other games. No, not in this game. Save yourself and pull out the broom. Yes, you can in fact broom up mid-air, and this is a cool little badass mechanic that makes you immediately airborne, significantly up from the ground as well, and ready to fly anywhere with your broom. It also works when you're in the water, by the way, and your character is in fact swimming. Yes, you can instantly use your broom while in the water and start flying away. Which is also very useful when your character seems to be somewhat stuck in the water. Pull out the good old broom and quickly get out. And finally, you can also use the sprint mode to make sure that you keep flying in the same pace without you needing to continuously press down the button for flying, which is really nice for if you want to travel long distances without actually doing anything, so you could even go ahead and take a break while your character flies to your destination. There are also other cool tips and tricks related to flying and just in general with a lot of other things that I already covered, so if you're interested in that, make sure to also watch my other Hogwarts Legacy video that came out a few days ago as well. The next one on the list is absolutely shocking, one that has caused rage all across the globe, getting the Dark Arts after saying no to them during the questline. So no spoilers here, but I just want to debunk this common misconception that is currently widespread and has raised the number of produced tiers significantly among the Hogwarts Legacy gamers to the point that we're having a global crisis because we're getting floods everywhere, as everyone seems to think that you're missing out on these juicy spells forever after initially declining them for whatever reason. Now I don't know who put this myth in the world, but it's complete nonsense. If you did say no and afterwards you had some evil, let's say, aspirations and you changed your mind completely, or you just somehow pressed no by accident in the first place, or you're just maybe illiterate, I don't know, you will want to go to the Undercroft near the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom Flue Flame. Yes, that is a mouthful. Starting from the Flue Flame, go down the stairs and move towards the Undercroft, and Sebastian will in fact be there for you. Now, I obviously got the Unforgivables the very second they were presented to me, so I can't actually show a clip of this, but trust me, it is true what I just said, and Sebastian will be there for you. With that last tip, I definitely saved a lot of baby seals in the world, so make sure to give the video a like, subscribe for more juicy Hogwarts Legacy content, and just in general content that you want to see, and hit the bell to be extra cool. Then the next one is matching your hat with your robe. So a lot of the robes in the game will automatically have the headpiece turned off when you put them on. But if you want the associated hood of the robe, then just hover over your robe and press Y or triangle or whatever pops up for you to turn the robe's associated hood on. And now you have a matching hood with your robe and you just look cool, you can't deny it. What else could you possibly want? For the next one on the list, if you saw my other video, you know how powerful stealth is. It gives you this ability to pretty much one-shot everything in the game with Petrificus Totalus. But you can actually use Petrificus Totalus with a bunch of different spells as well. Basically everything in the game that freezes your enemy in one spot will give you the Petrificus Totalus option, as long as there's not another enemy in the area that can actively engage in combat. Providing you a very easy way to, say, kill things with massive HP like trolls with casting Imperio first, then moving towards them and finally Petrificus Totalusing in them. Is that a word? I don't know, but now it is. Earlier on in your playthrough you can also use spells like Arresto Momentum and Glacius, which also net you the Petrificus Totalus option when you're near the enemy that you have casted those spells on. If there's more than one enemy in the area and you want to use Petrificus Totalus, make sure to control and stun each enemy with a different spell until nothing can engage in combat with you, and you can then just chain Petrificus Totalus on every single enemy for very juicy kills very quickly in succession. Utilizing enemy specific combos. Now there are a lot of cool combos to completely destroy certain enemies. One of the coolest ones is the one with the Dugbogs. Use Levioso when they stick out their tongue and then chain it into a Divendo to completely just obliterate them. Or when a spider starts digging and sticks its head into the ground, use Flipendo to basically disintegrate the entire thing. Because Flipendoing things with half their body into the ground, yeah, that sounds brutal. Or when you're fighting a troll, to use Flipendo when he moves up with his club to deal big damage instantly. And not only that, you will stun the troll like that as well, giving you a nice opportunity to chain that stun with a lethal regular combo of yours till you completely destroy the troll. Now how do I know about all of this? It's because the game actually does tell you all this stuff, and there are many other enemy specific combos by the way, but the game tells you in two main ways. First one being the entries of all the enemies in your collection tab, and yeah, I know like most of the time in games nobody really bothers reading this stuff, but in this case I definitely would suggest to read all of these entries as they contain a lot of useful information and mention these types of cool combos. But then there's also the dueling feats that mention these combos as well actually, and you always want to do these dueling feats anyway because they give you extra XP and they're also fun to do. But as you see, at the same time, if you pay attention to them, you will learn invaluable knowledge forever to become the ultimate wizard that just destroys everything. Now for the next few tricks, I have everybody's favorite subject, user interface related tips and tricks. These are kinda obscure and easily missable. Okay, I just found about them way later than I want to admit, but therefore it's in this video as well for anyone that doesn't know yet. When you're tracking a quest, make sure to press the up button as well. It will leave this visually stunning trial that you can follow, and instead of having to look on your map the whole time and missing the entire game basically, you can actually see the physical world itself while moving to your target. If you want to skip time for quests or day or night specific events, you can do so very easily and pretty much instantly by going to your menu and then accordingly pressing this option on your platform. When you're traveling around and you want to make your life easier, make sure to use the names of the flame flues on the left side instead of clicking on the flags and flame flue icons on your actual map. This makes traveling way faster, and especially in Hogwarts when there are so many different layers to the map and it can get quite convoluted. The spelled out names of the flame flues on the left side are just a godsend for that. For the next one we have the mass production farm tip. Farming is really useful in Hogwarts Legacy and it's a lot more fun than in other games as well. This is because you can make really efficient farms all in your own personal room with really minimal effort in Hogwarts Legacy. So I do recommend you to get the upgrade for both potions and plants as soon as possible. Especially with HP potions, you can stack fully up on potions within minutes as their ingredients are really easy to get and you'll always be prepared, which is really nice when you play the game on hard mode and you have just a bunch of these potions sitting in your inventory. And you will get these messages all the time, which is just a nice reminder of your mass production farms at home and the great job you did with making them in the first place. Now how it works with these production farms is that with only like 2-3 pot potion tables you can pretty much stack up on potions. In the case of HP potions you can make 3 potions on one table, then move on to the other table, make a potion on every pot, so that is 3 more potions, and because it takes about 15 seconds to go from potion 1 to potion 6 and brew them all, you can go back and loot your first 3 potions like that when you have finished brewing potion 6. It pretty much becomes this loop, and with it you can have an infinite HP potion farm like that, or just any potion really. Which brings me to the next one on the list. Go to the Tomes and Scrolls shop in Hogsmeade. Buy everything this guy has. This shop is just too good for the world. In addition to the stuff I already mentioned, some other very useful spell configurations are the hops ones that randomly give you a potion for free every few minutes, or the ones that provide you the means to make fertilizer so you can get even more yield from your planting stations. Just a lot of useful stuff in this shop. Check them out right now, and no, this video is not sponsored by them. Among the useful things that you can buy in Tomes and Scrolls are also the options like buying the thing that automatically feeds your pets, which removes the hassle of you doing everything manually. By the way, there's also a useful option to spawn your pet right near you, so instead of running around your garden all the time, just use this option and your pets will teleport right next to you, which is very useful if you just want to quickly loot them. But with this option you can also manipulate their positions in your garden, which can be very useful. For example, if you want them close to your feeder so they eat, or you just want to play with them because they're so cute, here is how to do that. Now early on you'll get a side quest from a character named Arn. This dude sells you an exclusive broom, but if you complete his quest without purchasing the broom he will disappear, and thus you might think that this guy disappears forever and you can't get this exclusive broom anymore, right? No, none of that. He teleports to this location and this location exactly. It is quite close to a flue as well actually, so just go there and talk to him, and if you still want the broom it will also still be there. The next one is a banger. It is truly marvelous. Once you get your transformation spell, make sure to cast it on everything that interacts with it. There are a lot of Easter eggs related to the spell and I won't spoil too much. You'll have to find out for yourself, but for example when you cast it on a deer you get your own little deer barrel. It is kinda funny and kinda creepy. Now we started off with a Merlin trial and we'll close off with one. Another cheat I have for you, or you just can call it being smart, revolves around the Merlin trials with the cauldrons that are basically this mini game revolving around you hitting all 3 cauldrons with Confringo before the first cauldron hits the ground. Again, none of that. Just use Confringo and chain it with an Arresto momentum and the cauldron will just completely freeze, giving you all the time you need to complete the trial. You can even go ahead, take a shower, do a little dance and come back and you'll still be able to complete the trial. And with that, thank you for watching the video. I hope you learned something, and if not, well, yeah, maybe next time. Either way, give the video a like, subscribe, hit the bell and let me know your thoughts in the comments as well.